trust in who we are, and nothing else matters. I never opened myself this way. Life is ours, we live it our way. Hold these words I don't just say, and nothing else matters. Yeah, trust I see, and I find in you every day for us something new.
Good morning. It's Uncle Lou here. We'll start the show in just a second. I see some people in the comment section talking about not getting notifications. I hear other YouTubers complaining about that same thing all the time. Some of them say if you hit the bell again to where you don't get notifications, and then unsubscribe, then resubscribe, then hit the bell again, that it fixes it. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's definitely a problem that YouTube has with the notifications. But some people say unhit the bell, unsubscribe, then resubscribe, then re-hit the bell, and it re-triggers the notifications or something. I don't know if that works, but you could try it. You know, I think a lot of people don't even know about the bell. So if you don't know what we're talking about, right next to the subscribe button, there's a little bell, and you can hit that bell, and YouTube is supposed to give you a notification on your phone anytime that person uploads a video or goes live. That's how it's supposed to work. But people say a lot of times it doesn't work. I don't know the fix, but I have heard a lot of people say that you can unhit the bell, unsubscribe, then resubscribe and re-hit the bell, and that might fix it.
Every day for us, something new. Open mind for a different you. And nothing else matters. Never care for things they say. Never care for games they play. I never care.
morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Clap your hands, clap, clap, clap. Stomp your feet, stomp, stomp, stomp. Spin around, spin, spin, spin. All right. Good morning, good morning, good morning. 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 Wash your hands, wash, wash, wash. Shake your hands, shake, shake, shake. Brush your teeth, brush, brush, brush. All right. Good morning.
Sounds like somebody's got a case of the Mondays. Ah. Hey, good morning. It's Uncle Lou here. Yeah, that's right. It's me, Uncle Lou, live for you on YouTube today. Thanks for watching. This is the morning show with me and BVD. BVD will be joining us here in just a few minutes. Me and BVD do this show 4 mornings a week, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. So every morning but Wednesday we do this show. When we know when we're having a football season or if we're having one or it gets closer to that point where we know football is going to happen or whatever, maybe we'll go back to the 5 days, but 4 is good for now. We were doing 3 for a long time, and then we went to 4 during the shutdown because nobody had anything to do except watch YouTube, which was great. But 4 days is good for now. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday at 8 a.m. Don't forget about my night show I do on Tuesdays and Thursdays. It's Uncle Lou After Dark. Every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 p.m. That's a college football call-in show. Speaking of call-ins, I have some news on that front pertaining to the morning show. That's right. Stay tuned for that. Big things happening here on the morning show. Yeah, no doubt. BVD has a show, too. He does it in the evenings. I think he does it Sundays, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 p.m. So check him out, too. Anyway, hope you guys had a great weekend. Thanks for tuning in this morning to the morning show, the 82nd edition of the morning show. And you know, they said we couldn't do it. Yeah. What idiots they are. It was no surprise to me. They are wrong about almost everything they say constantly. I was not trolling this morning either with the title of the show. when I said Vols get a 4-star. I was not trolling. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Hey.
Looking forward to this news.
Oh man, yeah, I really think you're gonna enjoy it. But I was telling people, I don't know if you tuned in the first 5 or 6 minutes when I started the stream, it said Tennessee signs a 4-star. I wasn't trolling. You guys know I use 24/7, right? So,
Right.
and I'm not here to tell anybody that they're better or worse than Rivals or ESPN or whatever. I use it for consistency reasons. That's it. If I use 24/7 every single time, then I don't have to worry about saying, well, this guy's a 4-star, but he's a 5-star there and a 4-star. I just use 24/7. So whether it's good, bad, or indifferent for a Georgia recruit or a Tennessee recruit or whatever. Well, I had heard the news yesterday that Tennessee signed that guy, and I wanted to know a little bit about him this morning before I started the show. So I went to 24/7's recruit list of players, and I found him on there, and I was reading about him. But then I noticed it said he was a 4-star. But all day yesterday I kept hearing he was a 5-star. So I said, oh, well, he must be a 5-star on ESPN or something. So I put 4-star because I always use 24/7. Well, then I went to the team rankings. 24/7 team rankings. Saw Tennessee, and they had 1 5-star. And I was like, well, what? So I clicked on it, and it was the guy that they had listed as a 4-star on their recruit ranking list. Anyway, long story short, the 24/7 team rankings, when they do that, they rate each player the average of the 3 major recruiting services. So they take ESPN, they take Rivals, and they take their own ranking, which is they do have him ranked as a 4-star, 24/7. But they average those 3 rankings when they make their team rankings. And the average of the 3 rankings of Dylan Brooks, that guy y'all signed, is a 5-star. So I wasn't trolling when I put 4-star, but I changed it to 5-star because that's what I go off of. The composite average is what 24/7 calls it. And the composite average for the Tennessee guy, he's a 5-star. So congratulations, BVD. You guys did indeed get a commitment from a 5-star linebacker out of the state of Alabama. So, good news.
That is good news. I'll be really happy about it when he signs the paper. Until then, he's just another person to talk about. We've talked about that. I don't get excited until they sign.
Long time between now and December, which is the earliest he could sign. And let's be honest, there's a possibility that signing days could get rearranged this year. I don't know if we.
Yeah, we don't know what's going on.
I'm going to try to figure all that out. But the only thing we concern ourselves with here is the actual football season. Once we know how the actual football season is going to go, then we can start to try to say, okay, well, how's that going to affect signing day? Are they going to move it? Or what about spring practice next year? All that kind of stuff, blah, blah, blah. With that being said, there is some news on the 2020 college football season front via none other than one of my favorite people, South Carolina Athletic Director Ray Tanner.
Nice.
That's right. He had an interview this weekend, and he apparently has been watching Uncle Lou every day like he's supposed to, because basically his interview reads like an Uncle Lou statement on coronavirus and college football 2020. I won't read you the whole thing. The gist of it is this. He says college football, totally different from the pros. You got all these different conferences, and they're spread out across different regions. There's no governing body that controls them all in terms of ordering students back on campus, blah, blah, blah. He said, so it's going to be extremely difficult to start the season on time like normal when you've got, 10 states that are totally back to normal, 20 states that are halfway back to normal, and 20 states that are still shut down. Plus, on top of that, each individual school in each individual state is going to determine their own timeline as far as letting students back on campus, gatherings, which, let's just be honest here, a football practice is a mass gathering. So that's just what it is. So different states are going to apply different rules at different times. And he's just pointing out what we've been pointing out here for a long time, which is that it's going to be extremely hard to get all how many Power 5 teams are there now? 60?
Ish.
Yeah, somewhere around there. Going to be hard to get all 60 of those schools, which reside in 40 or 45 different states, to all agree, okay, this is when it's safe for everyone to start practice, because like I've said, they're not going to let the University of Georgia start practicing, but Michigan, Ohio State, Southern Cal, Penn State, Syracuse, whatever, can't. They're just not going to allow that for, I think, obvious reasons. Now,
yeah, that shouldn't even have to be explained.
Now, we're in Georgia. You're in Tennessee. Let's say Georgia and Tennessee open up. We're Georgia and Tennessee fans. I would love for Georgia to get back to practice. That would mean news reports every day about what happened at practice. It would give us something to talk about. But if I was on the other side of it, clearly I'd be looking at that and going, that's, and this isn't even a Bob DeBarner thing, but clearly that just would not be fair. Now, I know a lot of things in college football aren't fair, but most of the things that aren't fair are not fair because they're not controllable by anybody. It's just not going to happen where half the teams are practicing and half aren't. It's just not. So if all the teams aren't on the same page, according to Ray Tanner, he says it's just going to be extremely hard to get the season to start. So anyway, take that for what it's worth. Again, Ray Tanner's not the one that's going to solely make this decision or any decision, but he's the athletic director at a Power 5 school. He's going to have input, and on top of that, clearly he talks to other athletic directors, college presidents, commissioners of conferences. You know, however little or however much he knows about the situation is a million more times more than anything any of us know. We're just repeating what we hear from people like him. So, again, I'm not here to tell you this is the gospel and this is what's going to happen and he knows everything. But it just seems like lately, anytime, you remember BVD? It wasn't that long ago, a month, 6 weeks ago. You had a lot of coaches coming out going, "No, I'm not worried. The season will start on time." No, you don't hear that anymore.
Yeah, you're hearing the other thing now.
Any quote, any interview, any statement you get from anybody, whether it's a head coach, a president, an athletic director, any kind of administrative official within the NCAA or a conference, it's always the same now. We don't know. We have plans, and then we have a backup plan for that, and then we have a backup plan for the backup plan. But so it doesn't seem like the people who are actually in charge of college football, it doesn't seem like they're getting more confident that the season will start on time. It seems like they're getting less confident, which is terrible news. Obviously.
Yeah, are we supposed to be getting a second wave?
Well, they don't really know. The flu comes around every year around the middle of football season, October or whatever. And so this is a virus. The flu is a virus. So they're assuming or saying at least that the possibility definitely exists that this thing could come back in the fall. But I guess they don't know that for sure, I really hope, I think a lot of people are going to be watching the numbers in Georgia over the next couple of weeks because of some of the early things we did here, starting on Friday with opening up some things, and then today movie theaters and restaurants open back up. I hope it goes well here because I think I think there's a lot of other states that are probably going, okay, let's wait a couple of weeks and see what happens in Georgia. If it goes well in Georgia, maybe we'll do something similar. And the more states start to open up and allow businesses to open and, that kind of thing, the better chance, I think, that we have some sort of college football season in the fall.
I know you told me you didn't get out this weekend. Did you notice any news reports or anything like that about excessive crowds or any kind of changes down there this weekend?
Yeah, I'll tell you, it's been strange to watch the news this weekend. I have not seen the state of Georgia talked about. I'm talking about national news,
right?
The quote-unquote fake news. I haven't seen the state of Georgia talked about this much, I don't think, ever in my lifetime, since maybe the Olympic bombing back in '96.
Mm-hmm.
You can't watch a news report on one of the national news channels, no matter which one it is, without hearing a story about Georgia. And even the Augusta mayor has been on every CNN, Fox, MSNBC. I mean, he's on all of them. It's been strange to see that. I've seen interviews with salon owners who say we're not opening. You know, we think there's certain things we need to see and certain things we need to have before we can safely open, and we don't see those things and we don't have those things. Like one salon owner was saying, you know, we need, in order for me to feel comfortable opening, I need 3 months of safety supplies. I need 3 months worth of paper towels, 3 months worth of Lysol, 3 months worth of masks for my workers. I want extra masks so that when customers come in, I because you're going to have some people that are going to refuse. People are celebrating not wearing a mask like it's a badge of honor, you know. I see it on Facebook here. You know, my Facebook page is probably 90% of people from the state of Georgia for obvious reasons. And it's people are celebrating not wearing a mask and making fun of people who are. Not everybody. You know, there's obviously a lot of people in Georgia who are taking it serious and wear masks and do blah, blah, blah. But there's a whole other group of people in the state of Georgia who are, you know, I ain't wearing no mask, and you know, or I'll see a Facebook post, about how somehow they think they're more brave or more courageous or more American, or I don't really understand if they don't wear a mask. Now, here's the thing: I'm not forcing anybody to wear a mask. I wear one because of Mrs. Lou's vulnerability to the coronavirus should she get it. You know,
right.
If I were to, I don't want to get it, but based on all the news and health reports and everything I've seen over the last couple of months, if I get it, I'm likely to be fine, you know?
Right.
But that's not the case for Mrs. Lou. And to be honest, my father-in-law, which a lot of y'all know lives in this same neighborhood, lives right behind us, actually. We share our backyard bumps up to his backyard. Had to go yesterday and get Saturday and get tested. He had
I saw that.
He had a 99 temperature, shortness of breath, a cough. He had all the symptoms. Now, there's a lot of things going around here right now. A lot of them are allergy related. We just finished up pollen season. If you're from, I don't know where, you know, I don't know how bad pollen is there where you're at, BVD, but it's just brutal here. A lot of people get sick, allergies, you know, sore throat, cough, runny nose, headache, that kind of thing during allergy seasons here. It's possible it could just be an allergy. But again, he's in his 70s. He's had heart surgery. You know, he's somebody that can't play around with this thing. So
how's he doing right now?
He seems okay, you know, but he's, listen, he was 25 years in the Army. He's from a different generation, he's always fine. You know, I was glad he went and got tested because he's one of those, and there's a lot of people that are like, you know, they doesn't want to go to the doctor and that kind of thing. So I was glad he went and got tested. And if anyone is curious, he called his doctor and no tests. Keep in mind, he's a vet, and there's a military hospital here in town. I'm not talking about the VA. I'm talking about Eisenhower Medical Center, a real hospital, not a VA. They didn't have any tests, so he had to call his regular doctor off base. They didn't have any tests, so he had to call. There's like a 1-800 number you can call for these drive-in testing locations that you hear about on the news.
Mm-hmm.
He called that number. They do like a phone screening. You know, how old are you? What are your symptoms? What underlying conditions do you have? And if you're enough of a risk, they will approve for you to go through one of these drive-through testing places. Because there's no tests here. I don't care what anybody says on the news. I'm just telling you what the facts are here from somebody I know personally that tried to get tested over the weekend. There's no tests here. It's not nearly enough. So you have to meet. In other words, if I were to call, they would not test me.
Mm-hmm.
They would say, "Oh, you're 41. Oh, you don't have any underlying respiratory issues, heart issues. You're not nothing. No, they would tell me just lock yourself in your room. That's what they would tell me. No tests here. They did approve him to get tested. He went through the drive-through, and it was the old school original test from a month ago. You know, you hear on the news all these new tests they have, a 15-minute test.
You talking about the 2-foot long Q-tip up the nose?
Yes. And, you know, they've been coming out and telling us for the last 3 weeks that there's all these new tests. They don't have to do that anymore. They can they have 15-minute tests. They have all these different tests. That was the only test they had. And they had to do it to him twice up each nostril.
Jesus.
Yeah, he wasn't happy about it. So he's supposed to get the results today. So keep him in you guys' thoughts or whatever today. Hopefully he's fine. You know, we'll you know, like I said, there's a million other things it could be, but you know, there's no sense in taking any chances when you're somebody in his condition. So he went and got tested. But I think a lot of people will be keeping their eye on the numbers in Georgia over the next couple of weeks, and I hope they go well. I hope there's not, you know, some huge outbreak here and people say, oh, well, that's it, and then every other state has to close down their tattoo parlors and nail salons and restaurants again, and I hope it goes well, but we'll see.
Other places are looking at starting to open back up, too.
Yeah.
I know they're
May 1st,
making plans up here.
Yeah, May 1st is a big date, I think, for a lot of states that are looking to open up some things. So we'll see. But they're going to be a week or so behind Georgia, and at least when it comes to this virus, a week is a long time because things already lag 2 weeks behind. You know, like most of the people who get positive tests now were probably exposed to the virus a week or so ago. So it just always lags anyway. So, but anyway, we'll keep our fingers crossed that things go well with my father-in-law and with the numbers in the state of Georgia, because I just think it would be good for obvious reasons. And football just happens to be one of those reasons. What were we going to talk about today? We'll talk a little bit about the draft, I guess, plus whatever BVD wants to talk about, and we'll talk about this 5-star, not 4-star, 5-star that you guys got. And then if we get bored or run out of time, why not do a moment in BVD history today? You know, it's been a while.
You got one picked out?
Nope.
I'm sure we can come up with something.
Oh, well, we got 10 years of videos. We'll find one without a problem. Oh, that's right.
We haven't done a Lou video in a while. A Lou history video.
This is true. We would definitely put that in a rotation. Speaking of the moment in history segments that we've been doing here. Well, I'm curious, you guys in the comment sections, I'm curious how you guys think the flow of the show goes. I like it. Me and BVD come on, we ramble for a few minutes, we add a guest on, some football, a lot of non-football, and then we have a couple of things that we do from time to time, the moment in history segments that we do, whatever. I want to add more things like that, like recurring things that we do here on the show. And something happened last week that got me thinking. We had Chess on the show, Chess Hall. One of the most entertaining shows I think we've ever is my OBS messing up?
You're buffering.
Something's going on with OBS. When I turned on OBS this morning, it said there was an update. Do you want to do it? I said no because I was in a hurry to start the show. And now OBS is messing up, so I don't even know if people can hear me. But now it's back to green again. So anyway, I'll have to update OBS after this show, so we might just have to deal with a few issues during this show. But anyway, when Chess Hall was on, it was great. One of the best. One of the most entertaining shows I think that we've had. The guy was well,
he was a good sport.
Yeah. Well, turns out it wasn't 2 or 3 days later, a lot of what we were talking about on that show, like there was breaking news. There was breaking Chess Hall news a couple of days later, and it was terrible news for Chess Hall. But wouldn't it have been great if, like, Chess Hall wasn't scheduled to come on the show that day, and we had a guest on the show that day? I wasn't going to hang up on the guest we had just to get Chess on, you know. Wouldn't it be great, though, in times like that, when something like that happens, if we had an additional phone line or something for the person to call in? So that's what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about having a phone line for this morning show that people can call in. But it's not like the night show where you just call in because you want to. Not to be rude. That's what the night show is for. But it's for when things come up and we're like, yeah, well, we need to hear from Chess Hall right now, or whatever,
right.
Whatever the case. I just think it would be. I'm working on a way to be able to make that happen. Now, I could easily plug another phone into this thing here and have someone call in. The issue is, BVD, you wouldn't be able to hear them.
Right.
So I'm working on a way. Around that. But so anyway, that's just an idea. I'm always thinking of things like that to add to the show.
Well, yeah, I know you probably wouldn't want to do this because of the OBS thing, but there's always StreamYard or Zoom where you can have up to 6 people.
Let me ask you this, because you've been using StreamYard. Do you use it with OBS?
No, I don't. I don't know that there's a way to use it with OBS. I mean,
right.
Well, actually, there is. There is. I have used not StreamYard yet. Zoom is the one I use with OBS. Now there may be a way to use StreamYard with OBS, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll look into something like that. Now, if we did that, then there would be no need at all for this phone call between me and you, right?
Exactly.
We would just be talking on Zoom. And
yep, we're talking on Zoom. We could go with or without cameras. And really kind of surprised we haven't done this yet.
Is it like StreamYard where a third or a fourth or a fifth person can be added?
I'm not going to swear to it, but I'm pretty sure you can do at least 3.
Okay. For now, 3.
Yeah,
we would need 4.
I know you can do 3.
Yeah, we would need it to be 4 because we almost always have a third person on.
Yeah.
Not today.
I know I've seen him do it over there on VRS with 3. I don't know. I'll ask him.
I'll be honest. I haven't Googled or looked up a single YouTube video about either Zoom or
the easiest would be StreamYard.
So I just know nothing about either one of them. So maybe I'll take some time this week and look into that. You can still
have a scrolling ticker on StreamYard, so that you could use that to take care of any of your sponsors.
Right.
You can post comments on the screen. So I mean, it's not exactly like OBS by any means, but you can still get your stuff up there.
Yeah.
Just can't do any stingers or anything like that, which we don't do that here much, if at all, anyway.
Yeah, I'll have to look into it because like I don't know how often a situation like that would come up, but it just would have been great to be able to add Chess to the show for 5 minutes that day, just to be like, oh my God, what's going on, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And again, to the people watching, I don't want this to be a reason where somebody gets pissed off. So I'm just telling you now up front. The idea isn't so that every morning 10 different people can come on. Just because
that becomes tedious anyway.
That's the night show. And doing what I do on the night show comes with a whole other set of issues that I don't want to deal with on the morning show. And most people, I think, know what I'm talking about. So I want this to be a situation where I can add a specific person to the show where because I want to, and I know who it is that I'm adding. I don't want it's not going to be a thing where I'm accepting a random phone call or whatever from somebody. So I hope you guys understand that. So
is anybody else in the comments having an issue with my volume or sound or anything like that? We got a gump whining about my audio sounding like it's coming out of a tin can.
Sounds fine to me, but I have headphones on, which always makes it sound a lot better. But
I mean, he's the first person I've ever heard say anything about it, so I don't know.
Right.
Might need to get your shoestring changed down there, buddy.
How about some super chats? Y'all don't forget about that super chat button down there. Celine Driver, thank you, sir. Appreciate that super chat. Good friend of the show. He says, I literally didn't watch a second of the draft. Don't care about it. Here because I'm supposed to be, and I'm older than BVD, so I'll wake up early anyway. I have a question about that. At what age, I'm not going to, I wish, I really do. I honestly wish I got up at like 5 o'clock every morning. I really wish I did. But because sometimes I do, and I feel like I am more productive all day when I do that. Besides just the fact that gives me a couple extra hours in the morning, but like today I got up at 7, and that might sound early, and I guess that is early, but it's not that early when you think about this show starts at 8, and this isn't the type of show where if it starts at 8, I can come out here at 7:59. That's not how. If you want a show like that, you got to watch Sleeta or 8 Camel Toes or one of those unwatchable people. I actually try to. I mean, I know we make a joke about professional, but I actually try to present this show in the most watchable way possible. And a lot goes into, and anybody that does this, BVD, you use OBS, anybody that does that will tell you this isn't as simple as just clicking a button and starting to talk. There's just things to go in. So I get up at 7. You say, well, that's a whole hour before the show starts. I have to be out here by 7:30. So I wonder at what age, because I remember like when I was a kid and I'd go spend the night with my grandparents or something for the weekend. Like they like just 5 o'clock. They just were up. I don't even think they set an alarm, or it was just like. And I remember like old people. Why do old people? It's like you spend your whole life getting up early to go to work and saying, God, I wish I could get another hour's sleep. And then as soon as you retire, you start getting up an hour earlier even than you were when you were working. It's just weird.
I know, right? And they go to bed at like dark, as soon as it gets dark.
Well, that might be what my issue is then, because I don't do that. I wish I could go to sleep a little earlier. Speaking of not getting
it's impossible for you on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was impossible yesterday, too, when I realized I was on, like, episode 6 of season 3 of Ozark.
Oh, boy.
So
getting down to it.
Well, I couldn't go to sleep. I just kept watching and watching. So I have now finished Ozark, and all I can say is
you have finished it.
The last 20 minutes or 30 minutes, really like the last 5 minutes of the 9th episode, and then the entire 10th episode was really something serious.
The last 30 seconds of the 10th episode is worth the whole series. It's worth sitting through 30 episodes just to get to the last 30 seconds of episode 10. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to spoil anything.
I kind of thought that was coming.
Really? I thought it was going to be maybe someone else. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was great. They sure do know how to finish a season, don't they?
Yeah.
Someone.
What are the plans for season 4? Have you looked? Like, is there a release date yet for season 4?
I haven't seen anything. I know someone, I don't know if it was in this show or one of my shows, suggested that I watch the Netflix show YOU.
Oh, it's really good.
Oh my God, man! I started last night, and before I knew it, I had 5 episodes knocked out.
Yeah.
It's like Dexter.
The first season is like a 10 out of 10. The second season, is to me anyway, was not as good as the first, but still really, really good. Like, a 7 or an 8 out of 10. It's still
okay.
Really good.
Well, that's good. I'm
like
on
Ozark,
episode 7, I think, right now.
To me, like Ozark gets better as you progress through the season.
It does.
Yeah. Season 1 was better than season 2. So. But season 2, I'm not saying season 2 is bad. It's still really, really good. But yeah, that's a great show. Mrs. Lou found that one. I don't know. It's been a while ago. And we watched.
Somebody needs to start looking. Somebody needs to start finding us a third show. Because like for me, after Ozark, I went through Ozark depression for a couple of days. Like, man, what am I going to watch now?
When I got ready
That's one thing I hate about this crap is you get started watching these shows, and you get so wrapped up in them. When you get done with them, you want more.
Yeah.
And it's just I don't know about you, but I've noticed since the whole coronavirus thing started, I've actually watched less TV
Hmm.
um, than normal.
Um, I noticed when I got ready to turn Ozark on last night. You guys know if you have Netflix, as soon as you log in, they usually have if there's something new out or something that's real big on the top of your screen, and then you scroll down to continue watching to find the show you're watching. But they have a documentary, I guess, that just came out about David Koresh, the Branch Davidians thing from the 90s or whatever. I don't know that it's any good. I'm assuming it's a documentary. Anyway, I'm not. I guess maybe I'm not sure. Maybe it's a show with actors, or I'm not sure. But that kind of thing, the cults interest me. So
I mean,
that might be something. I'll at least give that a try. Now that I'm done with Ozark and I'm looking for something to watch, I will at least give that. I don't know when. But maybe one day this week I'll have some time. I'll give it a try. So I'll let you guys know when I start watching it if I think it's any good or not.
If you run out of Netflix cult stuff to watch, you can always go watch A Camel Toes.
Yes, he's an actual cult here on YouTube. Of course, I was in a cult, BVD. So.
Oh, that's right.
I actually was in a cult.
Yeah.
For a while, still around too. I was lucky I got out. People don't know that. People think I'm joking now, but in my mind, I'm not joking. There are some people.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, there are some people who don't think it's a cult. Mostly the people still in it, but try to tell the people in any cult that they're in a cult.
You're crazy.
Arranged marriages. Just a lot of weird. Maybe one day I'll tell that story.
When were you a Mormon?
Not Mormon. Not Mormon. Anyway, Bad Dog, thank you for hitting that super chat, sir. He says, good morning and 3. Jalen Hurts to the Eagles in the second round. From fourth round like we thought. Juwan Jennings, no team. Potato pack.
No team what?
Bad Dog said no team. Of course, he did go to the 49ers in the seventh round. No.
If you haven't seen his video on Twitter, whether you like Juwan Jennings or not, that is a great video of him and his mom. That actually brought a tear to my eye.
Does he apologize to that Vandy player that he kicked in the head?
He didn't kick no Vandy player in the head.
Yes, he did.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
No, he didn't. He stepped on him.
Well, he stomped him in the head. My bad.
Nah. We could argue all day over that one.
Well, anybody that's not a Tennessee fan knows what happened. So that should tell you something.
Tells me more people need to be Tennessee fans.
Listen, that doesn't make him a bad person. Not one incident like that. This isn't like an Ndamukong Suh thing. Like he's done it 10 times. There's,
right.
Anybody.
Albert Haynesworth.
Yeah. I mean, take George Pickens. George Pickens completely lost his mind in the middle of a game. Like in Georgia Tech last year. Now, if he does it again, that's a problem. You know what I mean? People.
Oh yeah.
So I give Jennings a hard time because it gets the Vol fans riled up, but I do think he intentionally stomped on the Vandy player. I also think that doesn't make him a terrible human being. Like, football is a passionate, emotional sport, and he wouldn't be the first person that temporarily, lost it. And, it's a rivalry game and whatever. So it doesn't make him a bad person. But I do think it was intentional. I'm not trolling Vol fans. I watched the video.
I know.
To me, it looks like he did it on purpose. I
wish you could pull the video up because I haven't seen it in a long time. The only reason I don't think he intentionally stomped on the guy's head, it does look that way. Normally, when these guys do this, they're looking at him, and you can see the intent. There was a mass of people over there. People were trying to pull people off of people, and I don't know. I'm sure I'm biased. I don't want to think he would do anything like that, and maybe he did. I don't know. We'll probably never get the truth out of him, and it doesn't matter anyway at this point.
No,
but
he was suspended for what, a half or something?
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but but my point mainly is, you disagree, agree on whether it was on purpose. I think it was on purpose, but I don't.
RB Smata said the other guy had a bug on him.
Yeah. Let me go ahead and get that
doing
off
him,
of you, cuz.
Doing him a favor.
Yeah. I don't think one incident like that means that oh yeah, this guy's got an issue now. Like a lot of things like that happen. I mean, hell,
Yeah, it's like you said, guys that do that kind of crap do it more than once.
Yeah, look at Ndamukong Suh. I mean, the guy, his reputation. I mean, he's considered one of the dirtiest players in the game. Auburn had a defensive tackle, Nick Fairley. Same thing. The guys that not it wasn't a one-time thing with these people. They're just dirty players. I don't think that's the case with Juwan Jennings.
Mean and dirty players are nothing new to football.
Right.
I know you're not a big NFL guy. Do you remember Conrad Dobler? You probably don't.
I don't even recognize that name.
Right. Offensive lineman for the Cardinals back in the 70s. He was and probably still is considered the dirtiest offensive lineman to ever play the game, and he didn't hide it.
Yeah.
I'm sure Bad Dog in the comments knows who I'm talking about. I mean, he was the type of guy, you hear about in the pile, somebody will poke you in the eye. This guy he'd poke you anywhere he could find a place to poke. And I mean, he was dirty. And some guys are just like that. I mean, you want your offensive lineman to be dirty to a point, not dirty, but mean, nasty.
There was a rumor when I played high school football. There was high school football is weird in this area. They have way too many high schools here. So, BVD, you're big into high school. You understand how classifications work in high school. Generally speaking, it's based on the number of students you have at a school, generally speaking.
Correct.
Right? So, a 1A school is small. And maybe they've got 500 students, and 2A might have 600, and whatever, on and on and on. Here, there's like 10 3A high schools. It just makes no sense.
In Augusta?
Yeah. In the Augusta area, there's like 10. Maybe more. I'd have to sit and name them off.
Jesus,
none of them are any good. and that's why you could combine almost any two schools here, 3A schools here, into one 5A and have a competitive team. But for whatever reason, they've gone the other way. Let me just rattle a few off, and we'll see how many we get to. I went to West Side. That's one. I got West Side, Richmond.
That was 3A.
Yeah. So West Side.
What's the biggest classification in Georgia? 6A. I'm not even sure. It's 6A up here.
I think 5 is the biggest. It might be 6. It might be 6. But anyway, just in this area, the Augusta area, West Side, Richmond, Laney, Josie, Butler, Hepzibah, Cross Creek. That's 7 and that's all in one county. In the second county, where I live now, you have Evans, Greenbrier, Lakeside, Harlem, and Grovetown. So 12 high schools in Augusta. There's 2 counties that make up Augusta. 12 high schools. And then when you start talking about the Augusta area, 10 more. Now, some of these are 20 or 30 miles away. Thompson High School, Burke County High School, Rennes High School, Lincoln County, So, but just in the actual Augusta, 2-county Augusta, Maine, Augusta area, 12 high schools. So if you had even 7 or 8 and a couple of them were 4 or 5A, you'd probably have a couple of competitive teams. But the talent in this area is too spread out, in my opinion.
Is there a lot of distance? But there's got to be a lot of distance between some of them. But surely, they could combine a few of them. The problem here, we have one city high school, which is Greenville, and then we have 4 county high schools. and they've been talking for years about combining the county schools. Well, there's no way, man. Some of these schools are like 20 miles apart. The logistics would be a nightmare. Busing, it'd take 5 hours every morning just to bus all those kids. So I'm wondering if that's the same problem there.
Downtown Augusta, Laney, Butler, Josie. There's 3 schools that aren't more than 10 minutes car ride apart.
Mm-hmm.
And then West Side is a little further out towards – all those schools are in Richmond County where I grew up. West Side is also in Richmond County. But it's west, obviously, and it's the closest to being in Columbia County. So it's West Side is a little further away from the other schools in Richmond County than the other schools are from each other, if that makes sense. And then you've got Hepzibah, which is sort of the opposite. They're way on the south end. But
what do you got? Do you guys have any high schools there right across the border?
Oh yeah, that's considered part of the Augusta area, even though it's in South Carolina. You'll hear people refer to this area as the CSRA, the Central Savannah River area, and if you that includes some cities and counties across the river in South Carolina, and if you include them, you're probably talking about another 10.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, there would be no way to combine those because they're different states, so you couldn't do that. You can't, but a lot of high schools. The last high school team in this area to win a state title, talking about Richmond and Columbia County, the main Augusta area, was 1995. 95 or 96, because I was still in high school when it happened. We played them in the regular season, and then we played them in round 1 of the playoffs again, and we lost both times, and they went on to win the state title. They had somebody on their team you may know, BVD.
Name?
Dion Grant.
Never heard of him.
Stop it.
Yeah, 1998 national champion Dion Grant. Yeah. Played in the league for a while.
I played. It was 95 or 96. I played against him in high school. We were the same age, and then he, of course, went on to Tennessee and then the NFL. He played defensive back and wide receiver. I covered him up like a sheet, BVD. There wasn't nothing he could do.
If it weren't for that height thing.
2 games, Bum had 1 catch on me.
We've done heard the stories from P. Papa Lou. Apparently our boy Lou was a little viper.
You know what? I have a couple of my high school games on VHS tape. I got to figure out a way.
What are you waiting on, son?
I got to figure out a way to digitize those, and I can show you guys.
Just do the old Sports Live.
I'm trying to get me to play football or whatever. Only thing I ever tell people is I don't think you should ever. If you're gonna make your kid play baseball, fine. Even if he doesn't want to play, you're like, he's gonna try it at least, fine. I would never do that with football. That's why Lou Jr. has never played. If he ever came to me and said he wanted to play, I would support him 100%. Football's not something you want to make somebody play. Even at 7, 8, or 9 years old, you can get hurt. I saw people get hurt. I saw the ambulance came to the recreation field.
Oh man, you ever see any of the little tyke shows? And,
I say you can't be scared. And that was the one thing I was teeny, but I played like I was 6'2", 200 pounds. I wasn't, and I got ran over.
Buffering, we're buffering real bad, Lou.
Yeah, I know. There's nothing I can do. Pointing it out doesn't fix it.
No, well, I know. I'm just okay. There we go.
I can see every time it buffers. I don't need to be.
We're basically just talking to ourselves there for a few minutes.
Yeah, that's fine. There's nothing I can do about it. It's OBS. It's just got to be updated. But I was not scared. I played like I was the biggest person out there, and I wasn't. And I got ran over, and I got. But
Rudy Lou.
Yeah. I'll have to find
Uncle Ludi.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm facing the same dilemma right now. I got a bunch of home videos, nothing sports wise, because I mean, God, my sports days were ancient times, but getting them digitized, like you said, that's not something probably that you or I can do. And I don't know if there's anywhere around Greenville that even does that. But I've had some of these videotapes for like 30 years, and it's amazing that they've survived all this time. I'd like to get them put on a disc or something, something nice for for the kids to have later on to look at and laugh. Look at Dad here.
10th grade, I had 7 or 8 interceptions. It was a record at the time. I'm sure somebody's got more now.
Oh, look at Chess talking smack in the comments. I bet I could have put BB. Chess, I need to show you some pictures of me back in the day, son. I'd have wore your ass out. Chess wants to be on the show this morning, so since we don't have anybody, I don't know. It's 9:00. Of course, that's your call, Luke.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna. I don't think we're adding anybody now.
Kind of pointless at this point.
Yeah, I'll get on the emails and get it scheduled. I think Chess did send an email. Several people did actually. So I'll get with all of you today, and we'll get everybody scheduled.
Yeah, we're slim this week.
Yeah, doesn't hurt my feelings, but it's not it's not because people didn't want to be on the show. So it's purely me being lazy and not returning emails.
Well, you can't take all the heat for that. I'm guilty of that too.
I mean, I even took the time yesterday to look, but I was like, I'll reply later. I'll just be honest. I don't do the best job. I'm in negotiations with Slim Mosley now to take over my T-shirt store.
Right.
Once I get that squared away, my next goal is going to be to have somebody to start handling my email.
Wow, it's not too bad. There's 7 of them right now, and we're not getting to be honest, we're not getting a lot of new people emailing the show to want to be on. So that's on you guys out there, man. If you guys want to be on here, the application's really short and really simple. You got a phone number, you're over 18, and you got a story to tell. Pretty much get you on here, can't we, Lou?
Shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
Should not be a problem. Mike Bridges, thank you for the super chats. He's got some show suggestions here. All American. I have heard a lot of people talk about that show, so that must be one I need to check. Have you watched that one yet, BVD?
No, I have not. That's on
it's a
my
high school thing.
It is. It's about a football player. That's about the extent of what I know.
Yeah,
I thought it was a basketball player.
Sounds like it's right up your alley.
Yeah.
High school football.
Yeah.
And he says Outer Banks. I haven't heard of that.
Outer Banks. Now I know.
I mean, I know what the Outer Banks is, but as far as a TV show or a movie or whatever, I have not heard. I
never heard of that one. Never heard of that one.
Mike, you went to Silver Bluff? Now, Silver Bluff has had some great teams. That's across the river in South Carolina. He says Silver Bluff, class of 01, back-to-back state champs. I guess he did. That's not far from me. And yeah, they've had some great teams. A lot of college talent came through there. The only 2 significant like household names that I know for a fact I played against in high school. Now we played some teams far away that we didn't play every year, so maybe I didn't know everybody on the team, and maybe some of them went on to do something and I just don't know. But the only 2 that I know of that I played against that went on to be anything significant, or like I said, names that almost anybody would recognize, was Deion Grant, and the other one was Kendrell Bell, who ended up playing linebacker for UGA and for the
I was going to say, that's a name I recognize.
Yeah, he played for the Steelers. He went the JUCO route and then went to UGA. Had a great couple of seasons, an inside linebacker for UGA, and then on to the NFL. I know he was drafted and played for the Steelers for a while. I'm not sure if he bounced around maybe after that or not, but yeah, played against. He played running back. You know how it is in high school. A lot of these guys play both ways. So like Deion Grant was in the NFL. There may be more, and I just don't know. But that's it. This OBS thing is really getting on my nerves now.
Yeah, I'm trying to find you.
This is going to be a quick show today. Oh, I uploaded a video to the regular channel yesterday.
And
that's news. That's newsworthy. I think it's the second one I've uploaded in the month of April.
Well, you're on your way then.
Man, I really slacked off on uploading videos, which is disappointing because I always tell people you gotta upload video. People ask me for it, but you gotta upload videos. You can't just do live shows. Live shows are great for people who already know who you are, but if you want to expand or grow your channel, you gotta upload videos. You gotta give people a reason. You gotta give people no one's gonna click on this live show to watch me and you if they don't know who me and you are.
Right, and most people aren't going to click on a 2-hour or an hour and a half long video anyway.
Right, after the fact, yeah. And to be honest, like I don't even try to attract new viewers to the live show, as you can clearly see by the titles. There's no one going to YouTube just wondering, hey, I wonder if there's a video I can watch called The Morning Show. If I was trying to do that, I would come up with catchy titles or searchable words in the title. I like that the live shows are for people we know, the regulars, whatever you want to call them. But
people that you've drawn in by making your videos.
Yeah, and I have a list of advice I always give people anytime they ask me for it. And one of the things I tell them is don't get so hung up on live shows that's all you do. And here I am doing nothing but live shows. It's just been a weird couple of months, though. I think a lot of people's schedules.
There are
whatever is
a few exceptions. There's a few exceptions. Guys like now, Bad Dog. He's done quite well just doing live stream.
If you're an event streamer, that's different because you can title your video Super Bowl stream.
Yeah.
Or what? That's different. That's not the same.
I sent you a video on Facebook Messenger. It's too long to play the whole thing, but let me see here. If you go to, it's a 9-minute and 10-second video, but if you go to the 8-minute and 30-second mark, it's worth it.
8-minute, 30-second. All right, I'll check it out.
Don't even need volume, really.
Oh my God, we have a celebrity here. Volunteer Roadshow. Good morning, sir. I'm assuming that's Catfish, or it could be. Yeah. I guess it could be Billy Ratliff, or it could be what's the other guy's name?
They got 70 or 80 over there now.
Moonshine Bob or whatever. What's for my 10-year home? What is it called? Oh, 10-year reunion, high school reunion, and then that's probably the last one. The last one I went to, and then actually the last high school game I went to, Lakeside had a guy that had committed to Georgia. And I wanted to go see him play, so I went to a Lakeside game and watched him play. He ended up not doing much at UGA. He did play, he did start, nothing extraordinary though. He was drafted in a late round by the Kansas City Chiefs, but never really never caught on. Sanders Cummings, if anybody is curious, was his name, but he was from here. Probably the last player from here to go to UGA. No, there was a white running back that Georgia had. They called him the Incredible Hulk. What was his name? Not Brendan Sutherland.
What year-ish?
I want to say like 5-6 years ago.
Oh, I know exactly who you're talking about.
He looked like a tree trunk, this guy.
Yeah, the dude was a monster.
Yeah, really good. I mean, he was good.
Yeah.
And he was from this area. He went to a private school here in this. He went to a Catholic school here, private Catholic school in this area.
You don't see a lot of that these days, and that's
his name.
You know.
If we're even still alive,
was it Brendan something?
Well, there was a Brendan Sutherland, and this is going to sound terrible when I say it, but I know he was a white running back. whether that's the one I'm thinking of. It's,
Brendan Douglas.
Brendan Douglas.
Somebody
That's who it
says.
was. That's who it was. Brendan Douglas. Yes. Brendan Douglas with
So-
an E, and I think it was Brandon Sutherland was way before that. It was Brendan Douglas. That's right. They called him the Incredible Hulk.
So
Dude
if you're
was
white,
unbelievable.
and your name is Brendan or Brandon, you got a good shot at making the running back for Georgia.
Yes.
Long as Herschel's not there.
Yes.
Or DeAndre Swift or DeAndre Swift's daddy. Dude, is that guy yoked, as they called it?
Oh, my God, yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. Nobody messed with DeAndre Swift when he was a child. He
Guarantee
never
you.
got picked on or bullied, I promise you. His dad
Nobody's
is an
messing-
absolute
yeah.
monster.
Nobody's messing with his dad, period, ever. That dude is, jeez. He is just one big muscle with different shapes.
His arms are bigger than my legs. That's not close.
Yeah, and you're totally not joking.
No. For those of you who don't know, just Google DeAndre Swift's dad. Do an image search for DeAndre Swift's dad. The guy is unreal. The guy's huge.
He'd make Mike Tyson piss his pants. That guy's a monster, period.
Now,
Did he play ball?
now Mike Bridges says Greenbrier. He did not go to Greenbrier. He went to Aquinas. Yeah. Now, if Tua's dad looked like DeAndre Swift's dad, I don't think Tua would have lived past the age of 16.
Why is that?
Well, you know Tua's dad used to beat the hell out of him.
No, I didn't know that.
You're kidding me.
No, honestly, I didn't.
Yeah, they brag about it. Corporal punishment and spankings and beatings. Yeah, they it's a cultural thing in Pineappleville.
Are they Samoan?
I don't know what they are. It doesn't matter what they are. People are people, BVD.
That is a fact.
But I get.
Well,
but for real, there was an interview a couple of years ago. I think it was on ESPN. Might even have been on College Game Day. You know how they'll do like these 6 or 7 minute mini documentaries on College Game Day where they personal stories and things like that of players. They did one on Tua and his dad. And yeah, Tua's dad beat the hell out of him when he was a kid. Anytime he did anything wrong at a game, incomplete pass, missed a tackle, fumbled, interception, whatever the case, he would get whipped when he came home.
That would explain why nobody got excited the other night when he got drafted. Did you see that non-reaction by their family?
He should have whipped him every time he got hurt when he was a kid. Then maybe he,
Yeah.
So.
Well, that could be why he's so brittle now.
Could be.
That I watched a little bit of Bobby and Billy this morning, and one of them asked which one lasts longer in the NFL, Jalen Hurts or Tua. And me and Billy actually said the same thing. I think Jalen Hurts will last longer.
I agree, especially if he's willing to play a different position, which I think he
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Now, I mean, I think I've said it a million times. I think Tua's got a ton of ability. I mean, I think
no doubt.
he could be an all-time great.
Yeah.
Could.
They're already calling him the next Dan Marino down there. I mean, that's how excited they are.
The injury bug is just so bad with him. It would be hard to, if you were going to bet money on that, what you just said, it would be, I think Hurts would probably be the favorite.
10-1, probably.
So, anyway.
Who lasts longer in the NFL, Jake Fromm or Juwan Jennings?
I'm going to say Jake Fromm.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to see if Juwan even makes the team. He's got some competition out there at San Francisco. I think Juwan. Did I say Jake? I meant Juwan. I think whether he ends up making the team with the 49ers, somebody's going to sign him. I mean, he's just too good inside the 30 to not. I mean, he's not going to outrun anybody, obviously.
I think Jake Fromm could be in the NFL for 15 years if he wants to.
Yeah, as a backup.
Yeah.
I mean, Tyler Bray, I think, is still in the league.
He might not want to do that. I don't know. I mean, he might. 4 or 5 years in, after he's got several $1 million or whatever it is, he may realize I'm never going to play, and he may decide to do something different or whatever. But if he's happy being a backup in the NFL, I think there's a lot of teams that would keep him as a. I think he's what you want. I give Fromm a hard time, but I think he's what you want in a backup. God forbid something happens to your starting quarterback, you can put Fromm in. He's not going to blow it.
Yeah.
Now if you're down by 10 points in the fourth quarter, you lose. There's no coming back with a Jake Fromm. He's not going to win you a single game. But if your quarterback gets a concussion in the middle of the season and has to sit out 4 games, if you have a good team, you could realistically go 2-2 over a random 4-game stretch with Fromm. He's not going to blow it, but he's not winning you any games. And he's smart. He can learn the playbooks, and he's not an over-the-top personality. So, and that you don't want that as a backup, because it's just a distraction. Imagine somebody like Johnny Manziel being a backup. I mean, it would be, and then every weekend you have to read news articles about what bar he got kicked out of, and teams just don't want to deal with that from a backup quarterback. They want
they're not gonna.
Yeah, they want a forgettable backup quarterback. Really, they don't want it to be. Listen, Fromm got drafted in the 5th round. No one was that impressed with what he did in college. It's not like the Buffalo Bills are going to be screaming for Jake Fromm every time Josh Allen gets sacked or throws an incomplete pass. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You draft Tua or Burrow or somebody like that high in the 1st round. Yes, that's what happens. It's hard to draft a quarterback in the 1st round anymore unless you're ready to play him immediately, because the fans want to see it. And unless you're undefeated, it's always the quarterback's fault.
Oh yeah.
But I think Fromm's the type of guy that can sit in the background, and if he's happy doing that, I think he can stay in the NFL for a long time.
I mean, why? A lot of these guys are uber competitive and they don't want to be the backup. But I mean, to say you can make a lucrative career out of being a backup in the NFL is a gross understatement. I mean, these guys, there's some of them that hardly ever take the field, and they're multimillionaires now.
Yeah.
Tyler Bray, I mentioned him a minute ago. Guys like that.
Well, Josh Dobbs. I mean, he hasn't played any meaningful regular season time, but he's got plenty of, he's not hurting for, he can buy whatever he needs. He's not going hungry. I can promise you that.
Yeah, he can buy one of them airplanes. He knows.
Anything free is never going to be as stable as something you pay for, because who am I going to complain to right now that OBS isn't working?
Yeah, they don't
nobody.
Even have a.
There is
do
nobody.
Do they even have a paid version?
No.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I mean,
it's completely free, and
you can call your congressman, Lou.
Yeah, it's great when it works, and it works 95% of the time. But when it doesn't work, there's nothing you can do because it's free.
Yeah.
You can't call and yell at anybody. You can't call and ask for a refund. Whatever. That's like with editing. Forever, I used free editing programs, and they would crash, and I'd get halfway through editing a video, and it would crash.
Oh my
and I'd
God!
have to start over. So finally, a couple of years ago, I just paid for a legitimate editing program. And I haven't had a single problem. And if I ever
who is that?
I use Adobe Premiere Pro.
Oh, okay. It's pretty tough, isn't it?
I
mean, it's not easy to learn. Somebody like me would struggle with that. I would imagine.
It's easy to learn. You could take a lifetime and not master everything in it, though.
Right.
I mean, Hollywood movies are edited with Adobe Premiere Pro.
Okay.
I mean, there's so much you can do in there. It's insane. You can spend an hour between watching YouTube videos and playing around with Adobe Premiere Pro and know enough to edit and upload a video. But you can spend the next year learning how to do more and more and more and more and more.
What's your question, Melissa? I'm sorry, I'm looking back. What does their race have to do with it? I don't know. She said, I guess her question's not going to get answered. I don't know if you're asking somebody in the comments or if you asked us something. And probably, I'm not sure, RB Smodden wants to know if this is even going to be watchable later. I don't know.
Oh, well, once it uploads, all the buffered parts are automatically removed. So it'll just be like, there'll just be gaps in the show when you watch it. It won't buffer when you watch it back.
Okay. I want to know how this thing goes with Slim Mosley too, because I talked to Slim. Uh, Teespring sucks.
Oh,
That's just all there is to it.
I love Teespring.
You do?
Yeah.
Uh,
What don't you like about it?
well, I mean, maybe it's got something to do with the Rona right now, but I didn't like the 3 weeks to get my product.
Well, it's print
And
on.
of course, it
It's print
wasn't.
on demand. I mean, the way Teespring works is, like you design a shirt, BVD TV. They don't just print 100 of those, and so when someone orders them, they're ready to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's print on
yeah,
demand.
yeah. No, I get that. I guess part of my problem wasn't even Teespring's fault. That how it got to my house, that they had nothing to do with that. I mean,
Yeah.
uh, that's straight on my mailman. But I wasn't 100% happy with the shirts, but everybody else likes them, so that's all that matters.
Well, what was it about the shirt? The
I
material,
didn't.
the kind of shirt?
No, I mean they use Hanes T-shirts. It's hard to beat Hanes. And
They have like 10 different.
10 different grades of Hanes.
Well,
Is that what you're saying?
they're not
Or
even all Hanes. So
oh, okay. I
you
guess I
you know
got lucky then.
they have like budget shirts that are dirt cheap and probably scratch you when you put them on, and then they have some premium, but depending on what you choose, it raises or lowers the price of the shirt.
I guess the orange. I didn't like the orange, and it looked different looking at it on the computer screen than it did when it got here. And I know our orange is hard to match anyway, but it was just I don't know. I expect too much, I guess. Um,
Yeah,
from
what you
places
need to
like that.
do is you need to find out what the color code is for Tennessee orange. Every color and every variation of every color has like a 6-digit.
I
And
actually know
so,
it's like RM. It's PM or RMS 151.
well, there's different versions. I like the number code. I think it's more accurate, but it doesn't matter. But yeah, you're right. Because what most people do is there's that square that has all the colors in it, and they just move the
Yep.
mouse around the square until they find what they think is the right color.